little snip so there'd be room to stick her thumb out. And then, once you got the stocking on, you'll take your cast padding. Now this stuff, Bob and Faith got a bunch over here. This is just a thin woven material. Usually it's cotton, sometimes it's synthetic, but it'll just tear. You don't have to cut it or anything. It's just like so. Now I would start right up here and just roll her down, keeping it, try not to get a bunch of wrinkles in it. Main thing is, in the mid shaft, you're not going to have much problem. Around the wrist, the bony prominences, you want to make sure there's a lot of padding over that. You want to bring that up around the hand here. Just kind of wrapping, and just kind of go back the other way. There's a lot of padding over the wrist bones because you don't want that cast to rub or put pressure and cause an ulcer on the skin. You're not going to have much problem down through here because you don't get a lot of pressure on it. And you can roll like that. If you think you've got enough, just tear it off. That way you can always save what you got left for the next one. If you don't have enough, roll to the end, get some more and stick it on there. Now, I'm going to put on some rubber gloves because this stuff gets kind of irritating to your skin. We've got just standard, good old plaster cast material. It's got chemicals in it that makes it set up fairly quickly. This stuff's a lot cheaper than the fiberglass cast that you've probably seen most places using, the last 20 or 30 years. But you gotta be pretty good with it because it'll really set up fast on you. And it's a little harder to work with, definitely harder to cut off. I had to dig out my electric cast cutter from the office. I looked in the catalog recently. I think those things sell for like $1,200 to $1,500. So it's not the type of thing you're going to want to have around. Plus, if there's no power, you're not going to be able to use it anyway.
So what are we going to use?
With the plaster cast, you can buy cast cutter. I think those heavy-duty scissors you got over there, you could work them enough, and they got a blunt tip on the bottom, so it won't cut you. You could probably cut most plaster cast off with that. Even the cutter with the vibrating saw, it'll cut through the hard thing. You still got to use scissors to cut through your sleeve and this stuff. That vibrating saw will cut through the fiberglass or plaster, but not the cotton padding. Yeah, as long as you don't cut yourself. Anything with with blunt on one side. Of course, you got to have enough room to get it in there. Now, when you start to, this is
Gypsum.
Usually they'll say on there fast drying or extra fast drying. Well, one's 3 to 7 minutes and one's 5 to 10 minutes, so it's not a whole lot of different. What you want to do with the cast material, grab it here so once it gets wet, it's going to be like tape. You don't want it to fall, get stuck to each other.
Tell about the water. Why do we use certain
Warm
temperatures?
water, and squeeze it a few times so that so it soaks up water all the way in. Okay. Now you just start up at one end. Don't go clear to the end. Now, like I said, if you've got that sleeve, the sleeve's going to stick up farther. And I'll show you how we deal with that too here in a minute. When you just go rolling it on, try to hold your hand out like so. good to have an assistant, then you could have them hold the hand. When you get up here to the thumb, you don't want the cast rubbing right on the thumb, so twist the thing, bring it through, a couple of times, so you've got strength to that part. Then wrap it around the hand the same way. And then you just can kind of come back down. You want to kind of cover gaps. And once you get one layer on, go ahead and smooth that out. That way you'll get a nice drying surface. Now I can go ahead and, I can go, I might as well just go ahead and put another layer on there.
Might as well.
This,
So one roll is going to do one layer.
yeah, this is, now this is a
3 yards.
3-inch.
3 inch by 3 yards.
Most of your material is going to be 3 yards, 9 feet long. This is a 2 or 3.
It's 3 inch.
3 inch, yeah. The 2s are the narrowest, and that's about half that. It's kind of like 2/4, 3 inch, and 3.5 inch shotgun shells. None of them are that long. Okay. With the when you're finishing up a cast, you want to make it look really neat. If you've got your stocking on there, you can just fold that over, and somewhere along as you're rolling it, I can't do it here since we don't have the stocking, but like you put one layer on, fold that over all the way around, and then you put just one loop over it. That'll tuck that in. Then you won't have anything rubbing on the skin. Hold that thumb up there.
So in emergency situation, how do you know when it's healed?
Well,
Trays and all that.
you could probably, with a arm, hand, wrist, probably take the cast off in a month. Get by with a splint. Ankle.
So you have
Lower leg.
3 kids. Your wife and 3 kids at home, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so in your preps, how many rolls of this do you think you should have for a family of 5?
I'm just going to amputate.
Oh, okay. Too bad for you.
We got sticks and duct tape. We got sticks and duct tape. And, in all seriousness, a lot of fractures you can get by with a good splint. Just immobilizing it.
Sam splints.
Sam splints. You mold it. Wrap it. The whole idea is just to, protect that break and not, be able to put any pressure against it. So you see how this gets kind of messy.
So if you're on the road trying to get home, and somebody in your group breaks their arm, and you don't have warm water, will cold water work? Or you don't have a way to heat water? Will cold water work?
I don't know that it would work. I think for, a simple enough fracture, a good SAM splint and
Okay.
base wrap will get you there.
Okay.
They're not gonna be able to do anything with that arm anyway.
Okay.
As it starts to heal and that bone, within a week or so, it's gonna feel a lot better. They're gonna have use of their fingers, and I know I broke my hand playing football, and shit, but 3.5 weeks with that cast on, I felt like that thing was all healed and ready to go, and I couldn't wait to get the cast off and play the next night, and the doctor cut the cast off, and my wrist just went like that. I mean, those muscles were so weak, but they come back pretty quick.
So this dries in,
Yeah.
I mean, it
Now,
looks like it's already starting to dry.
yeah, it's pretty hard here around the wrist. I'm gonna let this go a little longer. I didn't put it on real thick just to not waste the cast material, but, you know, up here you can, I mean, it's already pretty hard. The other thing with the fiberglass casts are a little lighter. These
And they're
things-
waterproof.
Yeah,
But yeah, the
But you-
difference in the price though is
Yeah.
the waterproof fiberglass stuff we'd be selling for $40 to $50 a roll instead of
Yeah.
$8 a
Yeah.
roll.
it really, I mean, it's like, this is really easier to work with, and it's easier to get off. You know, if you're doing these things all the time, insurance is paying the bill, you know. Use your fiberglass cast, you can cut it off with your $1,500 cast cutter, and it's no big deal.
Or your $8 shears.
Yeah.
Let's say that, like your party, you're a scout, you have a fracture like that, but you can still function, you can still work, go out, gather stuff, find whatever. But you need it to be more weatherproof. Whenever you're out, you find some resin or something like that, can you use that, do it that way, and then like cover it in a resin?
Well, yeah, I mean, or just plastic bag, you know? Plastic bag.
Every get-home bag should have at least 4 empty Ziploc 1-gallon bags in it.
You know, for something like this, just, you know, a regular trash bag or even plastic grocery bags. Say, stick your fingers out one end, put a little tape around it, then, you know, you can get in the shower. You don't wanna try to get water in it, but whatever splashes on you isn't gonna soak the cast and run it.
2 questions, Dr. Jim. First one is, you mentioned if the fracture is pretty much just a crack of the bone, right? Or even if it's at an angle, you said to apply a steady pressure.
If you can tell, which, believe me, it'll be difficult without x-ray, but if you feel pretty much that it's in good alignment, you don't need to do anything to it. If you can feel that something's crooked in there, I mean, you can feel the bone kind of jutting up. I'm not talking jutting through the skin.
Yeah, not common,
That's a,
yes, yeah.
that's a high risk of infection.
Amputate.
You know, that's the next step, you know, maybe the next time we'll have a whole slew of antibiotics and injectable antibiotics, everything else for you. But, every time we come, we think of something else, oh, we could've done this, we could've done that. But certain things you can't get unless you're